Hello everyone, it's Miss Paola here. I hope you guys are doing well and I hope you guys are doing good, staying at home. Today for our video, we are continuing our space theme and I have a fun project for you guys today. We're gonna be making constellations in a jar. So you guys might be wondering, what are we gonna do? How is that gonna work? Well, let me show you guys what you guys will be needing. But yeah, we're pretty much making constellations on a piece of tin foil. We're gonna poke the holes through it, that way we can do the constellations. And then with our jar, we're gonna put the tin foil inside, and with either some lights or whatever light source you guys might have, we're gonna put it all in our jar, and when we light it up, we will be able to see our constellations. So with that being said, the things you guys will be needing is, of course, some tin foil like I just showed you guys, a jar, whatever jar you guys have at home, a Sharpie, that way we can trace our constellations, some scissors, and whatever light you guys are able to put inside your jar. I'm gonna be using some little fake candles that I found at the store, so hopefully it lights it up enough. Oh, and lastly, I almost forgot, I'm gonna be using a small pair of scissors, that way I can poke holes through the foil. But make sure, if you guys do that, make sure you guys have a parent with you, that way you guys don't get hurt and you have their supervision. So with that being said, let's get started and I will show you guys how to make your constellations. All right, you guys, so first things first, we're gonna go ahead and take our jar and we will go ahead and take our tin foil. And what we want to do is we want to make sure our tin foil is big enough or small enough for our jar. We want to make sure it fits in there. So what I will be doing is I will try to measure it and wrap it around to make sure I have the right size. And I think this tin foil will be perfect for my jar because it's able to wrap all the way around it. Oh my god, I almost dropped it. But make sure your tin foil is big enough. And what I will be doing, I'm just be cutting the top, that way there like no tin foil sticks out of the jar. So that's the first thing I will be doing, measure it and then cut whatever excess you have at the top, that way it fits your jar perfectly. Okay, so now for the fun part, we will go ahead and draw our constellations onto our tin foil, and I will be doing so with the Sharpie. And I'm just looking at a picture of the constellations on my computer, and I'll just be attempting to draw them, and then later on we will go ahead with our little scissors or whatever you guys have to poke the holes through the foil. So let's go ahead and get started. I will start with the Big Dipper. So as you guys know, there's a Big Dipper and then there's a Small Dipper. Actually, the Sharpie is poking through, so I guess I will just be poking through the holes with the Sharpie. I won't be using my scissors. And then there's a line right here. Kind of looks like a square. We want to make sure we make the hole a little bit big, that way the constellations stand out. So make sure your holes are kind of big like this. And we're making kind of like a rectangle or squared shape. So go ahead and just follow what I'm doing. All right, and then after we have this shape, we're gonna go ahead and draw a line. And then we have like a star about right here. And then we draw another line like that. And then we have another star right here. And then we draw a line kind of to the side. And at the end of that line, we add another star, which is our hole that we're poking with our Sharpie. All right, and now for the Little Dipper, it's pretty much the same thing. It's just that it will be smaller version of this. So I will go ahead and draw my Little Dipper right here. So we start with the star at the bottom. Then it's a line straight, another star right here, and then another straight line going a little bit sideways, and we poke a hole at the end of that line to make a star, and then one more line to the side like this, and then we poke another hole for another star, and then we have our little rectangle or square at the end. So I will go ahead and do that. Just make sure you guys make it smaller than your Big Dipper, because of course this is the Little Dipper, so it's a little bit smaller. And then just connect these two stars. Make sure you guys do it lightly because the tinfoil is very very thin, so it can't get easily, holes can get, you can cut through it easily. So make sure you guys are careful with that. All right, you guys, so the next constellation I will be doing is Cygnus. And that one kind of looks like a sword a little bit. So we will start with our star, our base star right here down at the bottom. We start with that. Then we make a short line, and there's another star right there. Then there's two to the side. So do two lines like straight down. And we do two more holes at the end of those lines. And then two shorter ones at the end like this. And then do two more holes at the end of those lines that you drew. And now we just draw a straight line like this. And at the end of that, there's another star. So as you can see, that one kind of looks like a sword a little bit. And the next one we're gonna be doing. So the name of the next constellation is Cassiopeia. And that's a pretty easy constellation to do. It doesn't really have like a defined shape, but I will draw it for you guys right here on this corner. So we start off with our base star right here. We're gonna draw a straight line, add another hole at the end of that, then one to the side. We add a star right there, and then down, we add a star, and then just one more line to the side. And we add our other hole, and that one is called Cassiopeia. So we have the Big Dipper, Little Dipper, Cassiopeia, and then we have Cygnar right here, this one. So I think those are all the constellations I will be doing. So now that we did our big holes for our constellation, we're gonna, with the little scissors that we have, or whatever it is that you guys want to poke holes with the help of a parent, of course, I will be doing the rest of the stars. And for those, I will just be doing like small holes. You guys want them to be smaller than the ones from your constellations. That way the constellations are able to stick out and you can see them more clearly. So just poke holes with something smaller than what you did your constellation. So that's what I will be doing for the rest of all of my foil paper, and I will show you guys the end result when we're done. All right, you guys, so now that we have all of our constellations on the piece of foil, we will go ahead and put the foil inside of our jar. So let me go ahead and do that. Make sure you guys are careful though, because as you guys can see, mine got a little folded and bunchy already. So make sure you guys are doing it slowly. That way your foil doesn't get too messed up. So, all right, so now that we have our foil inside of our jar, you can go ahead and add whatever light you guys have. The only thing I could find at home were these like candles. So you guys can use whatever you guys have at home. The brighter the light though, the better you'll be able to see your constellations. You guys, so this is what the final product will look like. You guys can see like the holes for the constellations are a little bigger than the other stars that we created with our small scissors. So let me just go ahead and turn off the light and hopefully you guys can see a little better. So let's see how it looks with the lights off. All right, you guys, so I made it a little darker in my room, and this is what our constellations look like with the lights off. So you guys can see like the stars that are a little bigger because we poked the holes a little thicker. And since we drew it on with the Sharpie, I know you guys can't see it on the camera, but in person you guys can see the constellations a little better when you guys draw it with Sharpie. So this is the final product. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.